ASUS ROG Zephyrus G14 24. This little beast squeezes the muscle of a full gaming rig into a body so light, you might double-check your bag for sandbags before leaving the house. With its dazzling OLED display and enough power to run your favorite games or crunch through a video edit, it's surprisingly polite, only getting loud or toasty if you truly push its buttons. The battery life is just okay for this party animal. For a laptop that somehow juggles gaming brawn and real-world portability, color me impressed, but docked a bit for the battery nap. 8 out of 10. Dell XPS 13 2024. The Dell XPS 13 is like a tech fashionista who struts in with a minimal design and battery life that laughs at the competition. Seriously, you might forget where your charger even lives. Snapdragon power means it blazes through tasks, but with its invisible touchpad and a port count you can count on 2 fingers, you'll either love the bold look or rage at the dongle life. Uber portable and stylish, but some design weirdness and limited hookups make it more of a snack than a banquet. 7 out of 10. Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 13. The ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 13 is so light you'll wonder if Lenovo just mailed you the empty box. Yet it's all business with a luscious OLED screen, keyboard comfort for marathon emails, and ports galore. Finally, someone remembered we actually use those. Performance is snappy for busy work, and it oozes professionalism. Although the premium price might sting, and creative types may want more punch in their horsepower smoothie. For business on the move, this sleek workhorse is hard to top, just not for bargain hunters or hardcore creators. 9 out of 10. LG Gram Pro 16 2024. This featherweight champion tries to dazzle you with a huge 16th-inch OLED display that's brighter than your future after coffee and somehow weighs less than your cat. Seriously, it's so light you could sneeze and accidentally take it to another room. The battery keeps you away from outlets for most of the day unless you binge-watch season finales, but watch your step. The price tag may trip you up, and the trackpad sometimes feels about as mushy as wet toast. If you love big screens and even bigger portability, just bring some extra cash. 7 out of 10. Apple MacBook Air 13 24. The MacBook Air 13 struts onto the stage lighter than a day-old croissant, with a crisp Retina display so sharp it's basically ready for a modeling contract, and an M4 chip that makes your old laptop look like a typewriter with Wi-Fi. Battery life sails through your 9 to 5, while the build is basically peak Apple chic. But hey, in true minimal fashion, it still thinks 2 USB-C ports are more than enough for everyone on Earth. It's sleek, stylish, and for once, the price went down. So this is the lightweight to beat right now. 9 out of 10. Dell 14 Plus 2-in-1 2025. Dell's 14 Plus 2-in-1 tries hard at the gym, showing off solid performance muscles and flexible convertible moves, all at a price so friendly Netflix would sponsor it. But then its screen walks in, looking about as bright as Monday morning, and turns the party into a budget motel lobby. The laptop is comfy for everyday use and battery life is pleasantly surprising, but if you actually like to see your work without squinting, maybe look elsewhere or bring a flashlight. Cheap and cheerful, but not winning any beauty contests. 6 out of 10. Samsung Galaxy Book 4 2024. The Samsung Galaxy Book 4 is so lightweight you might worry the wind will snatch it off your desk. But don't expect fireworks. This display is more washed-out laundry than cinematic masterpiece. The battery lasts long enough to binge half a new series while the speakers politely whisper your plot twists, and hey, you even get plenty of ports if you actually want to plug things in. It's fine for emails or web browsing, but if you try heavy lifting, this featherweight bows out faster than a reality TV contestant. 6 out of 10. Apple MacBook Air 13 M4 2025. MacBook Air with the M4 chip is so slim and sturdy you could slip it into a magazine rack and no one would notice. Except your grandma when she can suddenly FaceTime in ultra-high resolution. Every bit of this thing screams premium, from the snappy keyboard to the display that's punchy enough to wake you up even in a Monday morning meeting. Plus, you get a battery that just keeps trucking through your wildest all-day adventure. The new Sky Blue model is a pastel flex. The price took a nosedive. And for once, Apple actually doubled the base memory, so I am giving this featherweight its gold star. 10 out of 10. HP Omnibook UltraFlip 14 2024. The HP Omnibook UltraFlip 14 is like a tuxedo-wearing gymnast, stylish, flexible, and pretty good at yoga, but hits the mat trying to outmuscle the competition. Its OLED display is so stunning it'll distract you from the slightly meh sound and underwhelming horsepower. And yes, the battery life will get you through a marathon Zoom session, if you aren't secretly gaming, that is. It's great for working, flipping, and looking sharp, but if you crave power and speed, you're better off swiping left. 7 out of 10. LG Gram 16 2024. If you want a 16-inch screen that feels like holding a feather, the LG Gram 16 is so light you will double-check your bag and wonder if the laptop teleported away. The OLED display is lush enough to binge-watch anything, but performance wilts a bit if you ask it to work overtime. Think mouth-watering visuals, but not marathon multitasking. At nearly $2,000, this thing is pricey enough to make your wallet gasp, and the mushy trackpad makes you feel like every click is a trust fall. 7 out of 10. HP Pavilion Aero 1324. This HP is almost suspiciously light, coming in under 1 kilogram. If you sneeze, the Aero 13 might float away like a paper airplane. Speedy Ryzen chips keep things zippy, while the high-res display stays vibrant. But that small battery means the all-day claim is more ends just before dinner on heavy use. With a budget price and comfortable keyboard, it is like finding cash in your old jeans. But some build quirks and bare-bones upgradability drop it down a notch. 8 out of 10. Asus Zenbook S14. The Zenbook S14 is so thin and light you will forget it is in your backpack. But the stunning OLED display will remind you why you paid extra when you fire up a show. The build quality feels fancy, and battery life gives you nearly a full workday, yet the performance is more zen than beast. It gets the S in S14 for stylish, not stamina. For ultra-portable fans who value looks and portability over brute power, this is the fashionable friend who cannot help you move furniture. 8 out of 10. Asus Zenbook A14 UX3407 225. This Zenbook is so light, if it fell off your lap, you'd assume it was a feather. And with the ceramic-style ceraluminum shell, you will wonder if it's tougher than your gym shoes. The battery sneers at the charging cable while clocking close to 30 hours. But the Snapdragon chip gets winded if you ask for anything more than emails and binging cat videos. If you want wild battery and featherweight portability with a dash of co-pilot fun, this one's a marathon runner who skips leg day. 8 out of 10. Asus Zenbook 14 OLED 24. This laptop packs a vibrant OLED screen so punchy, your Netflix could double as a disco. And the new Intel Core Ultra chip makes multitasking feel like playing Leapfrog in zero gravity. Keyboard and battery life are party guests who never go home, but brightness is a bit shy and refuses to light up your life when the sun comes out. Overall, it's a swift, sleek star for both work and play, but isn't quite the brightest bulb in the Ultrabook box. 7 out of 10. Apple MacBook Pro 14 2024. The MacBook Pro 14 M4 is the overachieving honor student who crushes tests, pulls all-nighters, and still asks if you want fries with your multitasking, thanks to its blazing processor, beautiful retina screen, and battery endurance that actually survives a full season of Succession. Add enough ports to make dongles extinct, and you have one swanky spaceship of a laptop. Just don't expect bargain pricing or gaming prowess. This is the premium pick for creative workhorses and braggers everywhere. 9 out of 10. Acer Swift Go 14 2024. The Acer Swift Go 14 is like the sleek athlete in the laptop gym, clocking in with speedy performance, loads of ports, and a bright display, all at a price that will not make your wallet cry. But before you strut around bragging, beware the battery life, which checks out early, and the trackpad that might trigger therapy flashbacks to your last laggy device. It dazzles in the basics but fumbles on the extras, so close to greatness, yet just short of a standing ovation. 7 out of 10. Lenovo Yoga Slim 7i Aura Edition 15 2024. Lenovo's Yoga Slim 7i 15 Aura Edition is the classy guest at your work desk dinner party with a stunning 2.8K screen, marathon battery life, and an aluminum body that monks would envy. The keyboard is comfortable, but the touchpad is just okay, and there is a little extra plastic rattle, like a fancy car with a squeaky cup holder. Premium but not perfect. It keeps things light and pretty without becoming your next obsession. 8 out of 10. Lenovo Yoga 9i 2-in-1 Aura Edition 14 2025. This Yoga 9i 2-in-1 is basically the overachiever. A convertible stunner with a 14-inch OLED that could replace your TV, battery life so good, you will forget where you put your charger, and speakers that make meetings sound like movie nights. Sadly, the performance is more drama club than football varsity, but for the everyday crowd, it more than delivers the goods. Glamorous, flexible, but a tad shy when the heavy lifting starts. 9 out of 10. Microsoft Surface Pro 11th Edition 2024. The Surface Pro 11 rolls out looking like the runway model of detachable laptops. So lightweight, you'll check if it's still in your bag, with a fancy OLED display that makes colors pop like your group chat on Monday morning. Performance is surprisingly peppy for a Windows on ARM experiment, and it'll keep running through your workday and then some. But if you're after serious gaming or hope that the built-in AI will start doing your taxes, you might be left clutching your stylus in disappointment. Still, it feels premium, handles business like a champ, and finally gives the iPad Pro something to sweat over. But it's not cheap, and some apps are still missing in action. 7 out of 10. Apple MacBook Air 15 2024. The MacBook Air 15 is so thin and light, you'll swear Apple swapped out the metal for feathers, yet it packs enough power to make everyday tasks blissfully boring and music playlists dangerously endless. The battery lasts so long you could forget your charger at home for a week and only begin to panic on day 7, and its screen is so sharp and bright, it could startle a vampire at brunch. But this beauty does have a big notch that likes showing off. And if you are hoping to go wild with pro-level upgrades, Apple will charge you a small ransom for the privilege. It's almost perfect for most folks who prize style and stamina in equal measure. 9 out of 10. Lenovo ThinkPad X13. Don't let the business suit fool you. The ThinkPad X13 is an undercover ultralight road warrior, sturdy enough to survive a few desk tantrums, but slim enough to slip unnoticed into your backpack. The keyboard is a tactile joy for those who actually write emails, not just emoji replies, and battery life won't leave you crawling to a wall socket mid-meeting. But if you want the flashiest screen or plan on heavy gaming, you're better off looking elsewhere. Solid build, clever design, and hardly any drama. Just don't expect this sensible star to throw wild spec parties. 7 out of 10. Apple MacBook Air 15 M4 2025. This laptop is lighter than my sense of responsibility, and somehow silent, even when my browser has 50 tabs open, rocking an M4 chip that sprints past the last model like it just got out of gym class. The screen pops, the build feels premium, and it survives student life with all-day battery, but the keyboard's so shallow even my deepest thoughts can't reach it. And you'll need a dongle for all your hopes and dreams. Sure, it throttles when things get spicy, but the speakers are deliciously loud for binge sessions, making it a solid pick for anyone who doesn't want to carry a backpack full of adapters. 8 out of 10. Lenovo ThinkPad X13 Aura Edition 2025. This ThinkPad packs a dazzling OLED display and a battery that could outlast a Netflix marathon. Think business trip power without business trip boredom. The build is classy and aluminum. The keyboard is good, but missing its signature track point, and the Aura Edition swaps old-school ThinkPad vibes for slick new-school looks, plus you get all the AI bells and whistles you never asked for. For light workloads and heavy wallets, it's awesome. For power users, price to performance gives it a mild case of corporate regret. 7 out of 10. HP Omen Transcend 14 2024. HP's Omen Transcend 14 comes in looking slim, sneaky, and ready for gaming or productivity. Flexing an OLED screen that is almost illegal for how good it looks in this size, it stays cool even when you don't. Handles your work or play with a punchy keyboard and smooth touchpad. Plus, there are enough ports to make your desk look like mission control. But with only 6 to 7 hours of battery for light use, your excitement might last longer than your charge. 6 out of 10. Acer Chromebook Plus Spin 714 2024. This shiny aluminum champ swings into your backpack at under 1.5 kilograms, looking more expensive than your lunch. Too bad the display is so glossy. You will see your own reflection more than your notes in a bright classroom. Battery life is solid, and the keyboard is a typist's dream. But don't ask the speakers to throw a party, and Chrome OS might sulk if your workload is niche. Fine for everyday tasks, but extra points for style over substance. 7 out of 10. Framework Laptop 1325. If this laptop were any more modular, it would come with IKEA instructions, swap the ports, upgrade parts, and pretend you are Tony Stark at your desk. The new Ryzen chip absolutely flies, but the battery will clock out early. And for nearly $2,000, you could almost buy a small car that lasts longer too. People who love to tinker will adore it. Everyone else may wonder why the price and battery life feel stuck in 2022. 6 out of 10. HP Spectre X360 1424. Forget diamonds. HP's Spectre is forever. This metal beauty dazzles with an OLED screen so lush you will want to frame your spreadsheets, and the webcam can see pores you didn't know you had. It is pricey, the port selection is stingy, and that haptic touchpad is trying a little too hard, but battery and build quality are on point, and it can turn into a tablet to impress your coworkers. Luxury convertible, but with a price that whispers skip the vacation. 9 out of 10. Lenovo Yoga 7 2-in-1 14 2024. The Lenovo Yoga 7 tries to be flexible in more ways than a gymnast at the Olympics, flipping from laptop to tablet faster than your boss changes meeting times. Its sleek chassis is so lightweight you'll forget it's in your bag, until you whip it out and the wildly bright screen blinds your seatmate on the train. Battery life is solid, but not legendary, and that hinge does feel a tad wobbly after too many flips, so keep your fidget spinner at home.